All right. It's Thursday, May 18th, and today we're going to talk about hygiene, keeping clean, taking care of our bodies. While we're waiting for people to join us, let's take the Puzzlers Challenge. I'm guessing you guys aren't going to answer, but if you want to answer in the chat, you can. The puzzler wants to see how grown up you are. Circle the right answers. So this is in the student copy. The years that our body changes to become more adult-like are called acne, puberty, or hormones. If you guessed puberty, you were correct. Ding, ding, ding. Give yourself a point. Yep, good. The chemicals that tells your body to grow are hormones, ovaries, or sperm. Which one tells your body to grow? If you guessed hormones, you are correct. Great job. Number 3, females typically start to change later than, earlier than, or at the same time that biological males do. So females typically start to change earlier than males do. Girls get taller, they start to grow earlier. I knew you meant that. Number 4, once a male is old enough, his body will make millions of hormones, pimples, or sperm. I don't know about millions. Millions is the key word here, because of course it's going to make all of it. The answer is sperm. You're going to have some hormones. You're going to have hopefully not too many pimples, but yeah, a lot of sperm. Number 5, once a female is old enough, she will have one of these every month. Ovary, menstrual period, hormone, or Starbucks latte. That is not one of the options. Menstrual period, very good. Number 6, when an egg comes out of a female's ovary, it will go to her stomach, uterus, or fallopian tube. That's kind of a tricky one because it's going to go to two of those things. So it's not going to go in her stomach. Our stomach is our digestive system. It better not end up there. That would be bad. It's going to go through the fallopian tube, and then it's going to go to the uterus. So it travels through that fallopian tube. Remember they said it was like 3 or 4 inches long and took 3 days for that egg to travel through? Slow egg. Preteens need to take fewer, more, or the same number of baths or showers than children do. So you guys are preteens. More. Yes, you're getting stinky. Your body's got hormones and they make all this smell. Pimples are caused by oil in your skin, junk food, or baby fat. We haven't covered this yet, but we're going to talk about it today. The answer is oil in your skin. So I'm going to stop my share and we are going to talk a little bit about the lesson today. So today's lesson is about growing up again. Let me find it. Great Body Shop. Here it is. So we're going to talk about hygiene. If you don't know what the word hygiene means, it means cleanliness and taking care of your body so that you are clean. Your teeth, brushing your teeth, using deodorant, taking showers, washing your face. So we have our appearance, which is how we look on the outside, and we have our emotions about how we feel on the inside. But do you think there's a connection between good hygiene, your appearance, and the way you feel about yourself? And especially those of us who have to stare at ourselves on Zoom all day. Quite often, I will get up, I don't do too much, I read the paper, and then I come look at myself on Zoom and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to go wash my face and comb my hair and get myself looking better. So then when I do that, I do feel better. When you are clean on the outside, you look your best. When you look your best, you feel good inside. Often if you don't look your best and you don't feel very great either. Keeping clean is one way to show respect for your great body. We'll be talking more about good hygiene and why it's especially important during puberty. I don't know if you know this, but at school, the 5th grade has a really bad rap. All the teachers at school think that the 5th grade classrooms are stinky because the truth is, as our bodies develop, they make more smell. So here is what we're going to talk about: body odor, pimples, and bad breath. How about that for a class? What a class, boy. I hope your parents ask you what you learned about today and you can say body odor, pimples, and bad breath. These are all common problems that show up during puberty. When kids have these problems, they don't look their best and they don't feel so great either. Understanding hygiene will help you look and your best and feel great. I'm going to read you a little story about a kid. And this is just a scenario for you to think about. It says, hello, my name is Jordan. I'm in 5th grade, just like you. I've just started going through puberty and I have to do a lot more in order to keep clean and fresh. I have noticed that I have more body odor, and my breath is not so fresh in the morning. I'm also noticing some tiny pimples beginning to show on my nose. This is the daily hygiene routine that works best for me. Every morning I get up and I take a shower with soap. This helps take the oil off my skin. Some kids may do this at night, but I like the morning. I wash my face, I take care of my hair, I put on deodorant after my shower. And we'll talk a little bit about the difference between deodorant and antiperspirant, because there's 2 different products that are out there. Well, there's probably a lot more. That's why I have this lovely background today. Let's see. I brush my teeth in the morning and I also brush them at night before bed. I try to do this every morning, but once in a while it doesn't work out that way. There've been a few times I've woken up too late to shower or I'm too tired at night to brush my teeth. And then there was the time the water in the neighborhood was shut off. That was a challenge. Anyway, I've found that keeping to my own personal hygiene routine not only helps me stay clean, but also makes me feel good. And I also floss my teeth at least once a day. All right, we're going to read the parts of the brochure that are keeping clean and don't sweat it. So I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to go back to the student issue. Where is my screen share? I'm not screen sharing right now, am I? Oh, there we go. Found it. Okay. So back to the student issue. Oops, that's not the one I want. Here it is. So don't sweat it and keeping clean. Whoa. Oh, bigger. When you're little, let me see if I can get it to go. Keeping clean. When you were little, you needed to take a bath only once in a while if you got really dirty. Once you reach puberty, though, you'll find that your body starts producing different smells. You may want to change your hygiene routines. Regular baths or showers will help. Hormones, the chemicals that make you grow and change, also make you sweat more and direct your skin to make more oil. It's this extra sweat and oil that you'll want to wash off when you shower. Bathing also cuts down on the bacteria that cause body odor. You may want to wash your hair more often too. Many people's hair gets kind of greasy during puberty. Shampoo, soap, and deodorant are all hygiene products you need to think about. You can talk to your parents about like which sort of products you want, but you're probably going to want to make sure you get some deodorant. I use a natural one. Antiperspirant is actually a chemical that's supposed to stop you from sweating, but sweating is healthy for our bodies. It cleans out our pores. It helps us cool down. So I actually don't like antiperspirant. I use deodorant that covers up the smell, but it doesn't stop you from sweating. Okay, let's look at the don't sweat it. It's probably going to say what I just said. A lot of preteens worry that they sweat too much. It's true that the sweat glands may work overtime during puberty. Sweating is also worse when a person is under stress, and puberty can be a time of stress. The good news is that the sweat glands will learn to regulate themselves, just like everything else that will eventually balance out. After a few years of this big change, things are going to calm down. Your emotions and all of your physical changes are going to calm down, and everything's going to get better. The good news is the sweat glands will learn to regulate themselves. In the meantime, take regular showers or baths and use deodorant. Remember, I told you that when you're old, you go through this again, at least women do. It's called menopause. And it's when your hormones change again, and again, you start sweating. It says, what routine do you follow to keep your body clean and healthy? If you want to put anything into the chat about what you do, like whether you take showers at night or in the morning, whether I'm a bath taker, I take baths, whether you comb your hair, whether you brush your teeth several times a day, you can put that in. Maybe you have a trick. Here we go. Here's a topic you really don't want to have to deal with, but you're going to have to probably. The pimple problem. There's one part of puberty that's no fun at all, and that's pimples or zits or acne. Pimples pop up Because your skin is making more oil than when you were a little kid. When the oil gets trapped under your skin, it creates a pimple. Some kids are fortunate and don't get many pimples. Some aren't as fortunate and they get a lot of pimples or acne. Ask your parents if they had acne when they were younger. Your skin will probably be like theirs. Pimples are usually more of a problem for males. That's because males have more of the hormone that causes them. If you do get pimples, so pimples don't mean that you're dirty. You're not like a dirty, yucky person. It's just part of your hormones and your body changing. If you do get pimples, there are special soaps and creams that help dry them up. If they're very extreme, you can talk to your doctor. There's actually medication that can help with it. It will also help if you keep your hair away from your face and keep your face and hair clean. But just remember that pimples aren't your fault. Some kids just have more oil in their skin than other kids have. Pimples are a real pain, but the good news is they're likely to get better in a few years, if not sooner. So what do you do if you have pimples? Don't pop that pimple. Has anyone ever told you that the best way to get rid of a pimple is to pop it? It's a common myth. So people squeeze them like this. It's so common that there are how-to videos on the internet about how to pop your pimples. The fact is, popping a pimple is a bad idea. Here are 5 reasons to never pop a pimple. Popping a pimple usually inflames your skin, making the area look worse. So people squeeze it, they end up bruising the whole area, and then they have a big red spot. It can also cause additional acne by getting bacteria from the original pimple. So when it pops, the dirt that was trapped inside spreads out into your other pores and it can make more pimples. You'll probably end up with a scab that will take longer to heal. What is worse than a scab? If you break the scab or keep breaking your skin and bothering it, a permanent scar can remind you every place you ever had a pimple. When you pop a pimple, you leave an open wound. Our skin is actually the biggest organ on the body, and what its job is to protect the inside of you from getting infected. So anytime you have a cut, there's a chance of infection. A pimple is sealed, but if you pop it, it's not sealed, and you could get a nasty skin infection. So next time you have a pimple, just reach for the acne cream. You'll be better off, and that is a fact. Any questions about pimples? Zits, acne. Okay. Maturity is a part of growing up. Oh, we talked about that one already. Let me see. What else is in this lesson? We've talked about showering. We've talked about brushing our teeth. We've talked about body odor and keeping clean. So actually, sweat has no odor itself, which is kind of an interesting fact. The odor, the smell, comes when the sweat mixes with bacteria on the outside of the skin. After washing, the skin smells better because the sweat and the odor-causing bacteria have been washed away. Deodorants are products designed to destroy or mask odor. Antiperspirants help reduce sweat. Can you guess why others will notice a person's body odor before that person? So they're saying that other people might notice your sweat before you do. Can you think about why that would be?
Because people can see it, but you can't.
Actually, it's when your nose smells a smell for a while, it kind of gets used to the smell and shuts itself off. So when you're constantly smelling yourself, you can't really smell a bad smell. But somebody comes up to you and smells a different smell, they're going to notice it. So checking your own smell, checking your underarms, checking your breath helps you to pay attention to those smells. Hair care is also super important. Hair is something that's different for everyone, and good hair care depends largely on the type and texture of hair you have. For some, oily hair can become a new problem during puberty. Because your scalp, and also dandruff can be a problem during puberty where you have the little flakes coming off. Because the scalp is an extension of the skin, this overly active area in the hair can get the glands going too. People with oily hair can wash it more frequently, but that's not true for everyone. Some can wash their hair less frequently and still keep it clean. When it comes to hair, you're going to have to find your own routine. But if you're noticing your hair is getting really greasy, try washing it more often or getting a product that might help. So far, we know about body odor, oily hair, and acne and pimples. Delightful. Sometimes you're going to see a little plug just under the skin. It could be black. That's called a blackhead. It simply looks black because the oil has come in contact with some air and it's oxidized and turned dark. We talked about picking on your pimples and getting medication for pimples, over-the-counter acne cream. We talked about how it wasn't your fault. Brushing and flossing your teeth can help with bad breath. You can also get a breath rinse, like a fluoride rinse that you can squish around in your mouth and spit out, and it'll help with bad breath. Flossing gets rid of the stuff that's stuck between your teeth. And sometimes when you floss, you'll get a piece of food out and it will like taste and smell terrible because it's been sitting in there rotting in your mouth for a couple of days if you haven't flossed. So flossing is super important. My dad was a dentist and so was my brother. So I'm a big flosser.
My mom is a dentist.
Your mom is? Oh, I didn't know that. That's funny. So I come from 3 generations of dentists. My grandfather was a dentist, my dad was a dentist, and my brother's a dentist. When our bodies go through the changes in puberty, it's important to use good hygiene. But sometimes there are other changes that are not as easy to control. We talked a lot about them in the last lesson and also in the last unit. Think about your physical, emotional, and social changes that you're going to experience during puberty. Think about how you're going to handle all those mixed up emotions, the body changes, the mood swings, and confusion. We learned some strategies. Number 1, talk to your parents, express your emotions in a safe way instead of getting angry. Also, educate yourself, know that you're not alone. Everybody your age is going through this. Everybody's having their bodies change. Everybody's starting to smell more. Everybody's feeling crazy with their emotions. You might feel all alone. You might feel like you're different from everyone else. It's just not true. Lots of kids your age worry about fitting in, being different, being weird. That's so common, you guys. At your age, that's what it's all about. It's just about growing up and learning about the new you. So you need to be patient with yourselves and kind to yourselves and reach out if you have problems. Also, you might need to talk to your parents about needing to buy a bra or sanitary napkins or pimple medication or any of those things. You need to ask your parents for help to get that. At your age, you probably should start to use some sort of deodorant. Make sure that you're taking good care of your hair. I think one thing with online school is like you don't get up and get dressed as much, right? So it's summer now, you're going to be going out more. You need to start taking better care of your body. All right. I think that is about it. We have one more health lesson tomorrow, and that's about having a healthy attitude. And then we are all done with our health lessons. If you have questions, you can ask me questions about homework, questions about the lesson, questions about the testing. We will